Welcome back to the next tutorial of the series Character Rigging in Maya intermediate level. In this tutorial we'll try to create a leg control, a working leg control with a lot of information to it, a lot of freedom in animating. Before starting, we need to hide all this local access. To do this thing, select the root joint. This is the root. Right click, select hierarchy and go to skeleton orient joint option box. In this option box, don't click orient, don't click apply. If you apply, it will change the orient axis because we already did the orientation. We don't need to change anything. In the previous tutorial we did the orientation. So just click on toggle local axis. It's gone. Close it. Don't click on anything, just close it. Now the next step is creating IK handles. First of all, main thing, we have to understand what is IK handles. IK handle is inverse kinematics handles. The concept is like we'll create a handle linking the start joint and the end joint, and we'll get some controller, and if you move the controller, it affects all the joints in that series of IK handle. Let's see. If you go to skeleton IK handle option box, reset. Here there's one thing called current solver is single chain solver. This is one of the important things which we should understand. I'll show you the difference between single chain solver, rotate plane solver. Okay, then you will understand what you should use. To create IK handle, you need to click on this starting joint of the leg, end joint of this leg. Okay, you can see a IK handle and it's named IK handle. You can move it, so can I see? You can just drag. The preference is always given to the IK handle. I can move it like this. Okay, but right now the thing is that we created a single chain solver. What is the difference between single chain solver and rotate plane solver? If you see here in the IK handle option, we got one thing called twist. Select it, the text with the middle mouse button. If you check it out, you can change the value with the middle mouse button pressed. You can change the value, but nothing, there's no effect here. Okay, now let's go back to IK handle. We'll change this to rotate plane solver. Click here, click on the last joint, twist. Can you see the twist here? Can you see this one? So your leg is twisting. So whenever you create humanoid or organic objects, organic movements, we need rotate plane solvers. Okay, but when it's a single joint or when it's a robotic movement, we'll go for single chain solver. Now we created one IK handle. Now zoom in closely. Here I'll use skeleton IK handle. This time I'll use single chain solver for these joints because I'm not going to twist this single joint. The IK handle is created between ankle joint, the ball joint. Okay, and one more IK handle is created between ball joint and the toe joint. See, if you can see, if you move the IK handle, you can move it. Okay, now we need to give more controller. To give more control, first we'll rename the IK handles. This IK handle should be called left ankle IK. This is called left ball IK, and the final one is called left toe IK. It's named perfectly. Now a little bit of work is done, need to be done in the side view. Zoom in towards the leg. Here we need to create a joints in a reverse direction, because let's take, if I want to rotate this joint so that it affects the ankle joint and the ball joint, it cannot be affected with the eye candles in this context. So what we'll do is that we'll create a joint. Okay, I'll close this one. I'll create one joint which is a bit outside like this here. Okay, I'll create one. I'll create here. Okay, I'll create here. One more here. One more. I'll go here like this. I can create here also, but I'll try to follow the same joints. Okay, here this is one thing which is no problem. I'm happy with this placement. Next thing, front view. This should be moved exactly in the place of the main leg joints. Now we need to name it. So how to name it? Select this joint. This is left leg. I'll put reverse JNT. Okay, this is left leg reverse joint. I'll come back, click on the down arrow and click here, paste it here. I'll just change this leg to toe. Now next joint, this is ball, and the final one is ankle. Now all these joints are clearly named: left leg reverse joint, left leg toe joint, ball joint, ankle joint. Okay, you should always name it. Once it is done, the next step is we should parent the eye candles to that concerned joints. So I'll open Windows Outliner. First thing, you need to select the child. This is the child, that is ankle joint, and I want to select the reverse ankle joint. It's here, can you see it? So what I'll do, I'll try to click on this plus, hold shift on click, it will open all the joints. Now drag and select this ankle icon, or else you can click here, hold control and click on the joint, not shift, control, then go to edit parent, or else you can just press P. Now the next step is click on ball IK, then ball reverse joint with control P, and finally toe IK, toe joint P. So what we did right now is that if I move this thing, everything is moving. If I go down to this reverse toe joint, I can lift it. If I come down to the ball joint, reverse joint, I can twiddle it. So it's more clear. It gives you the clear picture, clear control. But when you see in detail to control the leg on all the stuff, we don't use joints, we don't use eye candles. We have something different like curves, which will control, which will have all the information about controlling these joints. So how to do it? So right now, if you don't understand, reverse it back, check it out. Okay, now get back here. I'll create a curve. Sorry, I'll create a circle here. Can you see now? I'll scale it down. In here, I'll just change it to some 12 points. Okay. Now F8, drag these points a little bit down. I'm just making a little bit of shape of a leg. Straight, straight. This is nothing simple. You can make anything. Letterworks. Now we'll move the pivot of this leg control curve. I change the name and then freeze the transformation, so everything should be clean. It should be named as left leg control. I'll use insert now this time so that I can be in the pivot mode, and then if you hold V and with the middle mouse button you can just snap it to here. Press insert. So you got this curve now. We got the curve working. So before adding more details to it, we have to create some pole vectors like a twist controls and all the stuff. To do this thing, you can create anything. You can create a star, you can create anything, or you can just create like text. So we'll create a text. I'll create like left. So just a curve, create it. I got this text. Okay, for me it doesn't look like L, it looks like something like 1. So I'll just change this font to, if you see here, can you see here? No, I'll go for my favorite Verdana. Right, create. Now once this is done, I'll go back to Windows Outliner. I need to a little bit clean up because I don't need all these things. I just need the curve. Okay, I can just with the middle mouse button drag this curve and select this thing and delete it. So we got the curve. Modify, center pivot. But if you hold like V with the middle mouse button, snap it to this knee joint. So hold V, snapped it, then I'll move it a little bit forward. Okay, forward. I'm happy with this thing, and then freeze the transformations. It's clean. Now this should be called as left leg pole vector, PV, or else you can call it as twist, but I'll call it as PV. Now we'll start linking this text. There's nothing is there. I need to delete that one. Okay, now everything, let it be clean. This is something which I created the lights. I just delete the color light and I delete the plane because I want you to see clearly. This is the characters which I showed. This is one thing. Okay, now I'll select these two controllers, put it in one layer, and here can you see a line here? Change it to yellow color. So that's our yellow color. Double click this one. I'll say left controllers layer. So every left thing, all the left controllers are here, and the right will be in different color and all stuff. Now we'll start linking it. So first, to create a pole vector, the twist vectors, twisting. So select the curve, hold shift and click on the ankle IK. Clearly I'm telling you, shift ankle IK, it's here. Okay, constraint pole vector. Can you see here? Reset, add. So if I select this pole vector, if I move it, can you see some twist? Good. Now the next step is that we'll create a controller now for this curve, the left leg. Okay, so that we can control the foot roll and all the stuff. So I'll select this thing and say modify, select the leg controller, modify, add attribute. You can add an attribute. I'll say foot controls, and I'll put -10, 10 and 0. Okay, click on add, close it. Can you see foot controls? Ah, I spelled it wrong. You should spell C and T R. Okay. Sorry, you need to be more you need to concentrate more. if I drag these values, nothing is happening. Now we'll try to create a link. So how to do that link? Just go to animate, set driven key, set options, load driver, and select the foot controls. And then you need to select the left leg reverse joint, this joint, this joint, and this joint, all the reverse toe and ball, left leg, left toe, left ball, all the reverse joints, load driven. And if you check here, it's z-axis, z-axis, and z-axis. So I can select everything, click on Z. Once you switch on Z, you can see this key is activated. So click on left leg control so that you can see the values in channel editor. Click on key. Okay, I need to select this thing. Click on key. So what happens is that it's creating a link between foot control attribute with this joints. If you select this one, can you see here? It's created a link. That's good. Now the next step is, when the foot control value is 10, I can select this joint and rotate it. Let's take 40 degrees and click on key. What happens is that we are linking these attributes with this 7. Can you see? That's perfect. Now we'll take it a little bit more further. Now next step is, click here. Okay, here we just went on to plus 10. We'll change it to now minus 5. Okay, minus 5, and I'll select the ball reverse joint now and rotate it up. Okay, we are just gradually lifting the ball joint. Now click on key. So what we did was, we just changed the value to minus 5 and rotated the ball joint. Now the next step is, change it to minus 10. Click on, if you click on this joint, like reverse joint, lower arrow, and this one you can turn it like this, down. This one you can push it back a little bit, something like this. Okay, I like this step. Now key. Okay, now test it. When it's 0, it's flat. When it's positive 10, it's lifting. When it's minus 5, you can see ball is rotating. Okay, I'll zoom in and show you a little bit closer. When it's plus 10, it's lifting. Minus 5, minus 10. Change it to 0. Okay, now close it. Now the next step is that we need to select this joint, shift the control curve, P. P is for parenting. So now I can select this one, move it, rotate it, and use these controllers. Little bit more work is there. I'll select this controller, that is left leg PV as ball vector, hold shift, select the left leg control and parent it. Why? Because when I'm rotating this leg in y-axis, I want the twist to follow the leg knee, and if I want more, still I have the access to easily modify it. Okay, I parented it. Now little bit of cleanup. Select this curve. I'm not going to scale it. I don't want to play any visibility, and I'll be moving it and I'll be rotating it. Okay, so whichever attributes we don't need, we can select it like this, click and drag, right click, and we have one option called lock and hide selected. So what happens is, it will lock that attribute and it will not, you can't see it in the channel box. It's gone. Now if you select this one, you can move in x-axis, move in y-axis, but kill it. Got it? Now your left leg is done. You need to follow the same procedure for the right leg. What I suggest you, complete this one, practice it, understand it, then use this procedure on the right leg. Got it? In the next lesson, I'll try to show you a little bit of cleaning up and working on spine controller. See you guys. Bye.